Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We're about at that point where we have to make an audit of the Afterbirth challenges. Irrelevant, best I've ever played. Irrelevant. No! No! Irrelevant. Pretty well done. And now the Guardian. So we're almost done with it. You know, we're doing these in like little sprints. The Guardian is a pain in the butt. 7WVW3GQH. It's a pain in the butt because there's Isaac's heart. But it follows my best friend. So we do, I mean, I hesitate to suggest that there's any, like, sometimes on these challenges, especially for ones where you're like, you know, you're only going to do it once and then it's done forever. It's a little bit foolhardy, I might suggest, to be like, alright, here's my 5-point plan for what I'm going to do. Because you're just going to, you know, beat it once and then never see the challenge ever again over the course of your entire life. But it might pay. That was pretty bad. Not much you can do about that, unfortunately, I suppose. It might pay to be more defensively minded. As opposed to just focusing on... I mean, typical Isaac strats, I think, largely... You fool! Go ahead. Largely, boiled down to, like, rushdown strats. You know, you enter a room, you kill the enemies as quickly as possible before they can kill you, and then, you know, life goes on, right? Ideally. It's not really the position that we're in right now. We might want to focus a little bit more on defense. I have failed this challenge in the past. I think, this is the regular secret room. What a world. Alright, well, I guess I guess it will not be blowing you up because you refuse to get out of the way. Oh, I hate an enemy that jumps. I hate an enemy that gets into the sky. I got in front of him. Alright. This challenge, I'm not going to say, you know, very early. I'm not going to say the things I want to say. What I want to say is like, hey, you know, like, here, it's tough. Because it is a challenge, you know? You don't want to fail once and then be like, well, it's poorly designed, it's really hard to win. Yeah, no kidding, right? It's kind of the idea. You know, there's achievements in Slay the Spire that are really tough to achieve as well. It doesn't mean the game is poorly designed just because there's an achievement where you beat the game without getting any relics. You know, it's kind of... You know, just accept that you can live your life without getting 100% completion unless you've dedicated your professional life to playing a single video game. Going at me. Okay, thank you for the spirit heart. And the truth is, I like a difficult challenge in Isaac. I mean, give me the challenges that are interesting but tough any day of the week over the ones that are just like, hey, we started you with a win, play out the clock. This has started way better, by the way. Let me caffeinate here. I'm ready to go. Dude, I have a controversial opinion, and I'm not sure... Keep in mind, I was born in 1988. That makes me a quote-unquote 90s kid. We're not a dying breed, but, you know, one of the things my generation is getting used to is the fact that there's a generation of young adults that are out there fully formed, having thoughts, opinions, you know, professional careers, being rational, getting in positions of power and authority that are younger than I am. It's still, you know, it takes a... It has taken a while, I should say, for me to understand that, you know, if I see somebody's birth date and they're born in, like, 1996, they're not 4 years old, you know? I mean, they're 22 right now. It's still pretty young in the whole scheme of things. I mean, it's very young in the whole scheme of things. I'm just saying, you know. I think it's more likely to happen, I think, if you're born at, like, please let me get the deal with the devil, thank you. If you're born at, like, the turn, or close to the turn of a decade, I think that makes sense. I can't even imagine what it's like if you're born, like, you know, if you're born in, like, 1998, and then you have, like, a boss who's born in the year 2000s, I actually think we do want Headless Baby here, weirdly enough. That's gotta be strange. You know? It'd be like, my boss was born in a different friggin' millennia. End century, obviously. Alright, I guess I will face you first. My idea with Headless Baby here was that, you know, maybe by using Headless Baby we can kill some enemies before they get close enough to actually hurt the Guardian, but I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, Where was I going with this? I don't remember, actually. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Well, hold up. What on earth is this? So we can have Isaac's heart just be at the top of the screen. Wait. I have an idea. What if we get super close to it? Like, hey, okay, grab this for a second. Because I think it stays in whatever position it was in earlier. What if we drop this? We need to wait until he gets, like, on top of us. Like this. Please, come here. Come here. This could save us so much time and also be a lot of fun. Look at that. Okay. I still think we'd like to have it be a little bit behind the sword. Come this way. Come this way, my friend. And a little bit behind us, actually. Please, I beg you. I beg you. Behind the sword. Go behind the sword. No. Okay, we'll reset. This might take us 5 minutes. I don't know, maybe we're better off having the heart off the screen when we enter the room. But I think it could screw us on a big room. Please, my best friend. I beg you, my friend. This way. Go the other way. What do you think? I'm gonna try it. So I actually, no joke, I think that duct tape might just win us. Well, it might put us in a position where we can actually defend the heart more easily because we can control where it is. And we can as long as we hold the item, we can always move it to a different location. I think the way we want to handle this is we almost... Yeah, that's really bad, actually. What hit you? I mean, admittedly, I wasn't looking there. For some reason, I was looking at my best friend, but... Just get it on top of our own hitbox, and then we have... Like, that looks good. Admittedly, we have a huge hitbox. But, as long as we play our cards right, this might be an acceptable... It might... No. I'm so confused. Because... Does my best... I know I'm in the middle... I had a bit going, but I'm very concerned about what's happening right now, because I thought I had broken the parameters for the game, and I was very excited. Now I'm realizing... Is it the case... that my best friend can also... You stupid idiot! Is it the case that my best friend can also take damage? Because if so, that sucks real badly. And, oh, we're done. Sometimes you just got to accept, you know, like, as much as, please don't, oh, what can you do? What can you do? You just got to accept that you're taking the damage there. Anyway, controversially, I made a tweet that was like 80% a joke, but was actually, I was being a little serious, to be honest with you, which is that, like, Kate and I, we bought that, like, Nintendo online subscription that gives you access to all these Super Nintendo games. Or sorry, Nintendo Entertainment System games, NES. I grew up actually playing a decent chunk of those, even though I was more of like a contemporary of the Super NES. So it's like 35 games. Tecmo Bowl, Super Mario Bros. 1, Mario Bros. The arcade game, Super Mario Bros. 3. Trying to think of what else is in there. It's not like all classics. Like, there's no Contra, there's no Super C, there's no, I mean, there's Gradius, but it's Gradius 1, which is, I mean, fine, but anyway. So I tweeted, hey, I played everything in the NES online library, and I'm here to tell you, from somebody that's, you know, almost a contemporary of the generation, every game in it is bad. Every game released before the year 1988 is bad. Not just because I was born that year, but I will tell you straight up, Super Mario Bros. 3, absolute banger. Beautiful video game. Everything else in that pack, not worth playing with a modern eye. And I'm being sincere, but also a little bit jokey, if I might say so myself. Now, it's been brought to my attention that there are exceptions. Tetris, admittedly, great puzzle video game. There are probably other ones as well. As much as I'm anxious about giving up my gamer cred for not necessarily loving the classics. I just think, I mean, the NES era... Oh, hey, you're not supposed to come in that direction. I waited until you were on the other side of the map. As much as I'm wary about potentially giving up my video game street cred as a result of saying that, I kind of believe it's true. Some people have brought up Metroid. I've played a lot of original Metroid. I think it's terrible. Great, maybe for its time. But I'm starting to also come to believe that maybe something just went wrong in the 1980s in a lot of mediums. Because I was watching the television last night, and it mentioned it's not from the 1980s. And the 1989 Tim Burton Batman film came on. And I said to myself, no joke, when I was a kid, it was my favorite movie. It was also like the highest grossing movie of 1989. Please stop hitting my young friend here. We don't want that. It was the highest grossing movie of 1989. Michael Keaton, Kim Basinger, Jack Nicholson, that guy from Arliss, which is a reference that most people probably will not get, and for good reason. Anyway, I was watching it, and I went, dude, you know, again, I'm not trying to make enemies. It's just one man's opinion, but it kind of sucks. So where was I going overarching here? I don't know, man. I guess are the 1980s okay? You know, having been a product of essentially the later part of that decade, I kind of had this idea that, you know, like all decades are roughly equal in terms of their own entertainment, you know? Like people, whenever people talk about classic video games, I don't know, you know, in the modern day, if they go back that far, if they go back to the NES. By the way, this is not me saying old video games are bad. I'm specifically saying games before the year 1988. There's lots of old video games that are amazing on the Super Nintendo. There's a couple great NES games. I mean, I genuinely do love Contra. I think that game is amazing. This is a bad take, and I'm aware of it, and I'm not trying to backpedal. I'm actually just trying to own it. I'm not really trying to convince you. I'm just trying to give you my 2 cents on the subject. I would love to hear your counter examples. No! To enlighten myself. Mega Man 1, I almost won't give you Mega Man 1, okay? Because I love the Mega Man franchise. I've been playing a decent amount of Mega Man 11, and I think it's a worthy successor to the, you know, mainline franchise. Ace of Clubs. No thank you. Mega Man 2, unbelievable game. All-time classic. 3, 4, 5, pretty much in the same boat. More or less. Mega Man 1 is good, but it's, you know, it's an unrefined idea. They're still working it out in Mega Man 1. Mega Man 2, all-time classic. Doubtlessly, okay, deal with the devil chance. We have bucked the odds and beaten the trend. Thank you, my friend, for this absurd amount of HP that could carry us to victory here. Anyway, long story short, I'm here to tell you, unlike everybody else on YouTube, I think the media is in maybe the best place it's ever been. Yes, I know you can buy XP boosts in some modern games. Do I think that's poisoned the well of game design? Perhaps to some extent. However, take it from me, okay? I was playing Donkey Kong. Boop 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 boop. That's, get ready for that for 10 hours, okay? Now I understand they don't have, you know, they didn't have the same kind of like sound chips and stuff back then, but like, you know, they were very limited in what they were able to produce. And you know what? I actually do think some arcade games are good. Like, I guess I won't throw the baby out with the bathwater, you know? Please give me this and make my sword larger. No, it did not work. It just made it made my boys larger. I didn't want that at all. Like, I think Pac-Man is genuinely, like, a pretty good video game, if a little bit, perhaps, boring by modern standards. Don't do it. I will protect you. Get down, Mr. President! But, you know, I'm just saying. I think Donkey Kong's kind of trash. I'm sorry, Steve Wiebe. I'm sorry, Billy Mitchell. No wonder, you know, there was so much drama in the movie The King of Kong. You know why? Because like 16 hours a night, all these guys are hearing is boom, 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 Anyway, we're the sucker in the end because we're paying for the service. I just hope that they bring some Super Nintendo games over, because I will play the Christ out of a lot of those. And you know what? Original Legend of Zelda is not my scene, because it requires, for my taste, way too much, like, map memory. But I'll accept that as a progenitor of, you know, another classic franchise, of course, as well. Everything else in that, I'm sorry, okay? Tennis, bad. Soccer, bad. Ice hockey, I hate to say it, bad. Games have come a long way. You know, it's one of those mediums where, like, you know, the technology is really valuable. You know, with music, you know, you go back to, like, the 1700s, you still got music that people listen to today, you know, for leisure instead of just to be like, look at what a hardcore musician I am, you know? I feel like if you go over to somebody's house and they're like, hey, have you heard of this one? It's called Balloon Fight. You know, they're just trying to brag about how many episodes of the Angry Video Game Nerd they've watched. If you go over to somebody's house and they're playing like Mozart, you don't go, oh, Mozart was pretty good, but he would have been better if the synthesizer had been invented. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just trying to say I think like the late 1980s kind of sucked, and I'm coming to terms with that as somebody who, you know, the first couple of years of his life were there. What's really weird, and you'll start to experience this if you haven't already, is that, you know, people say like you die twice. Once when you die and then once the last time your like words ever uttered. You also get old twice. Like you get old, at least you start to get old, I should say. Like when you get nostalgic about things that happened like 10 years ago when you were still an adult. I think that's part of it. But then also you get old when you read Reddit posts from people that are like going into their first year of college and they're like, my favorite movie when I was a kid? Transformers 3. And you're like, Transformers, that came out 6 days ago. No, it didn't. What have I done? I should have stood in front of the beam. It did not come out 6 days ago. It came out in like 2009 when they were 4. And now they're in, well, probably not 4, but you get the idea. Now they're in their first year of college. Like, for me, going from, what can you do? Going from 2000 and, basically 2012 to 2018, I've been roughly, physically, to some extent mentally, the same individual. It's hard for me to reconcile the fact that, you know, there are people out there, and it's self-evident, but you'll experience the weirdness for yourself as well. Again, if you haven't already. And then you'll get over the weirdness and you'll be like, one day you won't find it weird anymore. I think it's more unusual because I've always had, like, well, I've had a late birthday, right? So I grew up being in, you know, the final birthday for my class for the year, being like one of the youngest 2 or 3 kids in my class with this November birthday. And then now, I'm like, I can't be getting older. Like, there can't be people younger than me. I was born at the end of November. What year? Every year. Well, I wasn't born every year. That'd be weird. Dude, that would make your birthday much less of a celebratory time if you had to be reborn. And not, like, spiritually in the way that you are, you know, I don't know, every New Year's when you come up with a new resolution. I mean, like, you know, physically reborn. I mean, being reborn would probably suck. But being inserted so you could be reborn would definitely be worse. So I think we're about to beat this challenge. But Mom's Heart, or sorry, oh, it goes all the way to Mom's Heart. That's right, okay, never mind. We have no idea if we're ready to beat this challenge. And this fight is a real pain in the butt. I just love how, what can you do? What can you do? We're gonna lose. Literally, just, okay, again, I'm not gonna go so far as to say it's poorly designed. I think that's rude. Little Brim is kind of tempting, but I don't think it helps us kill enemies that much faster. We might need the HP. I remember specifically being like, I hate the mom fight. The mom's hard fight will probably also be a real pain in the butt. You know what we actually need on this run? And it's probably fairly obvious. Again, playing more defensively. That's a start. But no, I have to change my patterns to play this? I don't think so. Dare I suggest that perhaps the Yum Heart might be like a useful pickup. Now, I don't know how we're gonna get it. I tried to get in front of that. I got in front of that one. Got in front of that one. Thank God. There's no gasoline leak. I promise you. Yo, there's a half red heart somewhere. That's just the shower in the other room. Do not fear. I would really like to see a red poop, please. You know what I would also like to see? Our 2 luck manifesting itself as many, many, many red hearts here. Range up. That seems completely useless, but sure. I beg you. A red heart. We don't want it yet, though. We want... Half heart interval is sadly, like, unbelievably important right now. Look, this is the one time I don't want you to pay out with $1, if you could muster that kind of enthusiasm. I just want you to pay out with literally what's usually the least valuable consumable in the game. I'm not suggesting there's some kind of conspiracy to stop me here, okay? We definitely want the full heart. We probably want... Oh, I took the half heart by accident. We probably want the spirit heart. Range upgrade's worth nothing. Well, we get another few rooms of existence at the very least. So... No, the confusion is too much. If we get Shoop-de-Whoop here, he's done it. Did you see the... I was parrying blows from all comers. I can't believe I said that. Parrying blows from all comers. So we did take Shoop-de-Whoop. Why? Shoop-de-Whoop killing enemies quickly. Well, not quickly enough. On a room is worth everything. This is what I love about this challenge, is that if you have enemies on the screen... Wow, we just got deked. By all comers. Okay, cool. Well, he's cute, but deadly. That's gonna do it for our first Guardian attempt. I'm very frustrated with this challenge, and I hate it, but we'll be back to suffer some more. But in a way that hopefully provides some entertainment for the people out there. Just remember, if you like the video, continue to parry blows from all comers. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm probably gonna go back and maybe do... I don't know, maybe we'll do a greedier run. Maybe we'll do some challenges. I'm not totally sure yet. Greedier might be a nice change of pace after getting bodied by like 3 of the final 5 challenges. But hey, again, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Northernlion. Be notified when I go live in the future. For now, apart from that, if you enjoyed it, click the like button. It's a great deal. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. See ya.